Hi. Um, I wanted to talk a little bit about separation anxiety. And everybody has a different understanding of what that is. So I would like to start with sort of my understanding of separation anxiety and the different types of separation anxiety. And I think we see that like children can go through their own separation anxiety of being a baby that's always being held to being going into toddlerhood and having some separation from mom or dad or their caregiver. They can have another separation anxiety when they're going off to school for the first time, whether that's pre-K, kindergarten, first grade, whatever it is. And then there's another separation that happens when they go into high school and another separation when they go into college. So, finding those moments of transition with the child and helping them identify and release any sort of emotions that they're trapping in their body can really make all the subsequent separations a little bit easier. And so I think another form of separation anxiety or cause of separation anxiety can be when we lose a job or when we need to move or when there's a divorce or when an elderly parent has to go into a home or a different care situation. And of course, separation anxiety can happen with death as well. So all of these things come into play, and at each moment, there can be any number of emotions that can be trapped in the body. And if we can locate those emotions and release those emotions so that there's no longer a trap, and it doesn't mean that you don't get to feel the feelings anymore. You certainly do. But then if you get them to release so that they're not trapped, so you don't have a pain in your shoulder or in your low back or in your neck, or you don't start having ulcers. All of these things can be caused by trapped emotions that don't have the free flow of energy through the body. And so with Emotion Code, that's what we do. We use the technology of Emotion Code to locate and release these trapped emotions that people might have. And I see things people don't even imagine what they come into me and they're like, oh, it's this trapped emotion of anger. I'm so angry at my parents for X, Y, and Z, or my loved one for doing this thing to me, or my child for doing this thing to me, or my boss or my coworker, whatever. And anger may be a part of it. And very often we see other things from further back in the life of the person, or even inherited trapped emotions that can be passed down through the generations. That when we release these things, when we stop holding the secret of this thing that happened, then who knows what can happen next? And there's a little bit of fear that happens after those emotions get released. And I think that there's also this sense that I'm going to feel this feeling forever. And that's not true. Feelings can last a few days. The release of them can last for a few days. But eventually, we move forward. And that's because the energy in our bodies is moving forward again. So I just wanted to just give a really quick overview of what that can look like for people, what can cause things for people. And if you have any questions, reach out.